Welcome back, guys, to my YouTube channel. I know it has been, I think, 6 months since my last YouTube post, and I'll be honest with you guys, there's just a lot of catching up to do. And as someone who's been making content consistently on YouTube for years now, which I started my YouTube channel back when I was 14. I'm 24, I'll be 25 next month. I've been on YouTube for so long, and I feel like my life has changed a lot. And when it comes to my channel, I feel like the theme of my channel has changed so much. And I put a big focus on my Instagram and also like TikTok and my podcast and of course my online coaching business. And that's where my focus has been. It's just been fitness, my business, helping others, marketing. Like that's basically it. And I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram, and I'm also just kind of been wanting to get back on YouTube, and part of me just felt like I needed to come back to the space and do more fitness content. And for some reason I just don't want to do fitness content on YouTube. I want to go back to my roots of YouTube and what I used to do, which was just me. It wasn't anything special, it wasn't anything specific, it was just me. It was me sharing products that I like, it was me sharing getting ready with me, it was me sharing my life with you guys. And I would much rather me have a channel and an outlet where I don't have to be on when it comes to fitness. And don't get me wrong, like I love fitness, I love it so much, but it does consume a majority of my life, and there's also more to me than just competing, just fitness, and just my coaching business. And I hope that you guys enjoy the content that I start to put out on here. I'm not going to make any promises of like I'm going to post on Wednesdays, I'm going to post 3 times a week, because I don't think I'm ready for that sort of commitment, but I'm going to try to just post 1 time a week. And obviously with quarantine, I think everybody has a little bit more time on their hands. So I figured I would start this first video off with why I moved to Florida, and also a couple tips and like advice that I would have for someone who wants to move. And maybe you don't want to move to Florida, but you're wanting to move to another part of the country. So I moved all the way from Ohio to Florida all by myself. And I know that a lot of people are wanting to make a big move like this, and they're really scared. They don't even know where to start, and I'm here to help you guys with a couple tips. It's been a minute since I've done YouTube because I just had to delete a bunch of stuff off my card. So number 2 reason why I decided to move to Florida instead of live in Ohio was I just wanted to have a change in people. Not that I like dislike anyone from Ohio, but I felt like I've just been around the same people my whole life, and I always wondered what it would be like to be around a different group of people. So I think a lot of people get stuck in like in their comfort zone with the people that they grew up with, and they don't really go outside of that. But there's a lot of culture down here in Florida. Basically, I feel like everybody from the Midwest is just like came down here, but there's a lot of like really cool people that I've met. The 3rd reason is going to be fitness is just bigger down here. So for my business, for networking and connections, it just made more sense for me to live down here and connect more with people who do what I do. When I lived in Ohio, and I would say my full-time job was like an online fitness coach, people would just stare at me and think that I was kind of crazy. And here, like, people just get it. I don't really get questions. They're like, oh, that's great, congratulations. And even like the older people seem to like just be more with it. And I don't know, it helps me. But those are kind of like the main reasons why. Plus, I just had nothing holding me down in Ohio. I wasn't in a relationship, I wasn't married, I don't have kids, my parents are healthy, they can take care of themselves, so I just didn't have a reason for me to be in Ohio, and I just felt genuinely not happy there. So I decided to move to Florida. I was thankful that I had a friend that I met through Instagram. So shout out to Sarah Ford here. I talk about her quite often on Instagram, but we became Instagram friends starting in 2016, I believe. And she let me just stay with her. And my first tip is going to be go down to the area that you're looking to move to and just tour apartments, okay? Don't pick an apartment that you see online, because apartments will lie. They will get really good angles with their rooms. They'll get really good angles of their amenities. They'll make everything look super nice because they're trying to sell you. So it would be best for you to invest some money invest some money and go down there or travel there. For me, I was going down because I live north, and I needed to see an idea of like where I would be living, because number one, you have to make sure it's safe. Okay, number two, you have to make sure you like it. And then number three, you just gotta make sure that you feel like you're at home. So those are all really important to me, and I would recommend that you create a list of amenities that you're looking for, and then create a budget and create a range for where you can keep your rent. So I'll be honest, like a lot of like 1-bedroom apartments here in the Tampa area, which that's where I live, are going to be at least $1,000. I know that there's different styles of living, but let's say you want an actual apartment. If you want a 1-bedroom apartment, it's probably going to be at least $1,000 a month, and that's not going to include anything like your electricity, Wi-Fi, so on. So when you're renting from a company, let's say, obviously you're not buying a home, but if you're going to rent, most renters want you to make 3 times what your rent is in order to get approval. So I know a lot of people will do research and try to like get roommates, but for me, the last thing I wanted in my life was to have another really bad roommate experience, which maybe I'll do that for a story time with you guys. I had the world's worst roommate, not the world's worst, but she was really, really bad. And I didn't want to deal with that ever again. So I know for myself, I just wanted to live alone, which means you have more financial responsibility, which was fine. I was in a financially stable place, and I had a lot of savings. So this is going to be a big one. If you're going to move across the country, your moving truck is going to cost a lot. You can get a pod, which pods are more affordable. I believe the one that I looked at going from Ohio to Florida was around $1,000. And then we got a moving truck, which I believe it was, I know this is kind of a wide range and I apologize, but I believe it was $1,300 for the truck. And then you have to pay for gas to go down, obviously, so that was an additional fee. So it's probably around $1,500 for the truck. My parents, I was very thankful for them. They helped me move. So if you hire movers to help you move in, that's going to be an additional cost. Honestly, whenever you're moving anywhere, it's just going to be higher cost because you're putting down not only your rent, but you're putting down a deposit, you're paying movers fees. It's just going to be more money. And obviously the distance that you travel, it's going to cost more. For me, I drove my car down, so I actually have a lease, and I was super behind on miles because I work from home, because I don't go anywhere for my work. And I was able to drive my car down. I know a lot of people will ship their car down, which if you want to do that, that's going to be another cost, but you're going to have to weigh out the cost of shipping your car or just driving your car down. For me, I just drove my car and it was completely fine. It is going to cost more time. And then the other thing to consider is if you're going to go straight through or if you're going to stop at a hotel and stay there. For me, I had Hope at the time. I still have Hope. She is a puppy, and I just feel like that would be a lot to demand out of a dog to have them travel all day long. And not only that, just myself. I can't drive 13 hours straight, and I didn't expect my mom to drive 13 hours straight or my dad. So we all stopped at a hotel in Georgia. So Georgia's a big state. It's about, we still have a couple more hours from there to get to where I live now. But that's basically how I did it. I see a lot of people make mistakes when they are moving and they get like a roommate off of Craigslist. They get someone who, and here's the thing, when you get a roommate, they're always going to be nice to you at first, and then the bad side of them is going to come out, okay? I feel like anybody can sell you, and they're probably desperate to have someone to be a roommate with as well. So anybody could sell you on that, and you got to be careful. And number 2 is going to be just tour around. I probably looked at 8 apartments in 2 days, which was a lot of driving, a lot of just stress, because I would go up to a place and I looked all on apartments.com. No, this is not sponsored, but I looked at apartments.com I just had the app, and you can really put in your specifics for, again, amenities that you're looking for. I needed somewhere that was dog friendly. I wanted a pool. I wanted air conditioning. I wanted a washer dryer in unit. So I put all that in there, and I was able to nail it down. But because I wasn't a local, I didn't know the area. So with Florida, you have to be careful, just like with anywhere that you're going, is this a safe area? Is there a lot of crime here? And so on. So I know originally I looked at a couple places by the university, didn't feel safe there whatsoever, and I started to ask some locals nearby of places that they felt comfortable at, and thankfully I had another connection down here, Paul Rabella, because he lives in the Tampa area. So I just asked him, and small world because his wife was a real estate agent, so she really knew the area. I asked her kind of the vibe that I was going for, which was more of a residential safe vibe, which that's currently where I live. I live in an area that feels very safe and very homey to me. Now, I know that not everybody has that luxury to have those in-person connections, but that's when you just research, okay? Read ratings, read reviews. Those are super important. If someone's, on the apartment website saying there's a lot of crime here, like someone's at my door with a gun, obviously don't move there. So be very smart and careful. Don't just look at a place to rent and be like, oh, it's only $800 to live here for the month. I'm sold. Don't do that, because you could sign up and get yourself in trouble. But that's basically why I moved to Florida and how I moved to Florida. Was it stressful? Yes. Was I in a competition prep at the time? Yes. And I still made it work, and it was a really hard prep in 2019. But I am going to be moving again here in beginning of June into another place. So I'm sure that you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my boyfriend Jake. He currently lives with me in this one bedroom, but we're just going to move into a 2-bedroom with a garage. It's basically a townhome. I keep calling it an apartment, but it just feels like a townhome, and that's going to be happening before you know it. So I feel like I've moved quite a bit. I've moved in 2016, 17, 18, 19, and now in 2020. So I've moved quite often. And I hope that this video was helpful for you guys, gave you an idea of just pricing as well. I would recommend at least having at least $5,000 in your savings too for a backup, okay? I was grateful because I had a job, okay? I didn't have to secure a job because I'm self-employed. But if you don't have a job, when you come down here to tour your apartments, you should also be interviewing at jobs, and you can apply for jobs online. Give them a call, say, hey, I'm from out of state and I'm looking to interview, or maybe they call you saying, hey, we want to interview you. Let them know when you're traveling down there to look at your apartments, and then get an interview, get that job, and get your stuff and move to Florida. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. For more information, make sure you check down below in the description for more information on my coaching podcast and my other social media links. Make sure you all check that out, and I'll see you guys later.